Do you want to know the best farming spots at mid-game? You are in the right place. I've tested all of the spots open in Chapter 7 to 9 for hours and optimized the best spots for you. Following these methods will let you gain an insane 63k AP, 34k XP, and as much as 95k GIL income per hour, which can boost your overall progress in the game. Quick advice first, grinding at endgame is much more desirable because you will have access to 5 AP up materials, more gear material slots, or you will have access to better gear such as Chocobo Armband, Swift Cast Materia, and more. But the main banger is completing the game once will double your XP multiplier and triple your AP gains. But the majority of you love to grind early, so I made this guide. The good thing about this guide is that you will be using a single farming build for all of the upcoming spots to save you the hassle. All of the items that I will be suggesting here mainly revolves around the best gear you have access to between chapter 7 and 9, so keep this in mind. We will be using Cloud as the main damage dealer on this lineup, who is equipped with Runeblade, slot in which armlet for the 5 material slots it provides, and you can easily obtain this armor by crafting it with a crafting level of 9. I suggest crafting at least 2 of these, but if you are lacking ancient barks since it is kind of rare compared to the others, just buy them from any Chocobo shops in Corel and Gongaga region for just 400 GIL each. If you don't want to craft the Witch Armlet, the Outlaw Bangle with 4 material slots is a good alternative. You can easily buy this bangle for 4,500 GIL from any vending machines located in Gongaga or buying it from the local weapon shop. Equip Cloud with a supernatural wrist guard or a crafted full throttle wrist guard if you have it. Moving on to weapon material slots, and the first 2 slots will be taken by the elemental material linked to a fire and ice materia. So Cloud's attacks will be imbued by fire and ice depending on which element our targets are weak to later on. You can get the first and second elemental materia so far by beating the following combat simulators: Junon Battle Intel, White Squall, and Gongaga Battle Intel, Distant Tremors. Following up with a max first strike and an ATB boost materia. It doesn't need to be maxed, by the way. I have 2 lockup materials in here, but they are not that required. But essentially, the lock stat increases your chances of getting critical hits. And of course, slot in an AP up materia. I do have Ifrit materia in here just for the extra attack it provides. Weapon upgrades for Cloud would be attack power and magic attack power plus 20 and ATB charge rate up. We'll be using triple strike as the main damage dealing ability in these methods, so make sure to slot this ability in any of your shortcuts. Barret is our secondary man in this farming build, equipped with a high caliber rifle and another witch's bracelet. Let him wear the Whistlewind scarf since he needs that extra ATB charge later on. Slot in the second elemental materia linked to an ice materia, so he will be dealing ice elemental attacks in our methods later on. Another ATB boost is required, and if you don't have it yet, buy these easily from Chadley's Corel Development Materia Shop. Again, I have used 2 lockup in this setup, and the other one is linked to an AP up materia. At this point, you already have access to 2 AP up materias, and the first one is from the Mithril Mines in Chapter 3, and the other one can be acquired by clearing the Corel Battle Intel Badland Beast. Just in case you are wondering, the other material slots that I didn't mention can be anything, so make sure to fill those slots with the materials you wish to level up. Barret's weapon upgrades are magic attack power plus 20 and Overlord overcharge. His summoning materia is Alexander, but it's not required. Slot in the maximum fury ability in any of your shortcuts, as you will be using this ability a lot later on. Your other party members should be equipped with the best gear you have, so they can access as many as material slots as possible. The more material slots you have, the more your AP gains. As mentioned, if you do have more witches bracelets, it would be ideal, but the outlaw bracelets can easily do the job. Equip them with all of the materials that you wish to level up, and make sure to check their equipped materials from time to time for you to replace the fully upgraded ones. Lastly, make sure to set the difficulty to easy and you are good to go. Heading to the top 3 spot, which is the Devil May Care Coliseum matches in Gold Saucer, which is accessible in Chapter 8. This method is pretty straightforward, which is sweeping the first wave of thugs over and over. Head to the Battle Square section of the Gold Saucer and access the mentioned match to start the actual run. The strategy is so simple, all you have to do is when the battle starts, cast your ATB boost materia so Cloud can gain 2 ATB charges. Then quickly use the triple slash ability to sweep 80 to 100% of the thugs in this match, but if more enemies survive, simply use another triple slash. This will end the fight in an instant, and when the next round comes up, simply give up the match and re-challenge the first match once again. If you are trying this as early as Chapter 7, there is a chance that you are not going to sweep these mobs easily. If that happens, simply switch to Barret and use his ATB boost materia to gain at least 1 ATB charge and cast Maximum Fury. Each run lasts for about 40 to 41 seconds with loading times included on PC. This spot lets you gain 344 XP, 240 AP, and 0 GIL per run. If you do this consistently in an hour, we are looking at almost 31k XP and 22k AP gains for your 2 members. The main drawback of this method obviously is that only 2 members will be getting the XP and AP gains and no GIL income. But it is still one of the best spots even at endgame because of the high AP gain per run, useful if you want to rush level up a specific materia. Stepping up the game with the top 2 spot on this list, which is the Seahorse farming method, available in Chapter 7. Just like in the previous spot, you will be clearing a wave of enemies over and over, but this time it will be seahorses. This method will require you to spam Field Intel 2, seahorsing around in the Corel region, and I'm showing the location on the screen right now. Head to the location and start challenging the seahorses, and we will be using the same strategy compared to the previous spot. Once the battle starts, cast ATB boost and sweep all of the enemies with 2 triple slashes. If enemies survive, switch to Barret and cast an ATB boost as well. Finish the job by casting Maximum Fury. And once you are done, press retry to respawn the seahorses to repeat the process. This method takes around 27 to 30 seconds with loading times included and lets you gain 248 XP, 456 AP when all members are included, and 568 GIL. If you do this consistently in an hour, we are looking at a whopping 34k XP, almost 63k AP, and 78k GIL, which is a ton to boost your progress. The gains are pretty much higher since all of your 7 members are present if you do this past Chapter 8, and they are all gaining AP since this is an overworld spot compared to the previous spot. If you are getting value out of this video, consider subscribing to the channel. Liking the video and engaging in the comments helps me a lot. Thank you for your support. The Gongaga Storehouse spot is by far the best method on this list, which requires players to steadily farm a series of enemy packs in the overworld. A spot located in the south of Gongaga region and readily accessible in Chapter 9. Once you arrive at this location, start this method by engaging the first set of monsters near the gate of the storehouse. Clear them easily by using the same strategy we used in the previous methods by sweeping them with 2 triple slashes. Once the first set of monsters is done, head to the gate and go through your right, past the guardhouse. You can pick up the raw materials within your reach while you are on your way to the second pack. The next enemies are a set of toads and plants. Clear them with our killer strategy and it will be over in a flash. Head to the port and not for long, you will be finding the next set of enemies you need to take out. This time the next pack is formed by 2 Gagigandis and 1 Chimera Mimic. Once the targets are taken down, head to the next set of enemies located not from your current location. The last set of enemies are 2 Grandhorns, which you can easily take out with the same strategy. Once this pack is done, move away slightly from the Grandhorn spot and approach the gate. Save your game and load it to respawn the mobs in the area. You will be doing this method now in reverse, and once you reach the 4th enemy spot and clear them, simply save and load your progress again to restart the whole loop. Each run takes around 1 minute and 27 seconds to 1 minute and 30 seconds and lets you gain 649 XP, 1425 AP, with all 7 members included, 2,384 GIL. Doing this method consistently in an hour nets you a whopping 26k XP, 57k AP, and 95k GIL. Now you will be thinking, hey Samurai, the Seahorse farming has better gain in terms of hourly XP and AP gains. This is true, however, I find the Seahorse very repetitive during long hours of farming, and the Gongaga spots provides higher GIL rewards, which is vital as you reach post-game. Plus the Gongaga spots is less repetitive and lets you gain raw materials as well. The Seahorse and Gongaga spots are actually the 2 of the best spots in the game, and good thing you can access them during mid-game. In case you haven't noticed, I'm already level 39 in all of the runs that I've shown you so far. So I suggest farming this method at least when you are at Chapter 9 so you will have access to all of the gear that I mentioned. Endgame methods are optimal since we will have access to the best farming gears available, and surely endgame spots will be covered as well. But in mid-game, nothing beats these methods. But if this is your first time seeing Rebirth, watch my beginner guide here to have the perfect start possible or know the best early spots in the game. And I will catch you on the next one.